Friends, for today's meditation, we will do a character study of Mr. Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus. Joseph is the often forgotten character in the Christmas narrative, but a careful study of this noble character brings out several valuable lessons to appreciate and follow. Now, we hear very little about Joseph in the Bible. Joseph means God will give the increase, which signifies the promised blessing of God for those who will obey him. Joseph's complete genealogy is given in Matthew chapter 1 verses 1 to 18, and we find that Joseph was a direct descendant from David. He lived at Nazareth in Galilee. He is called a just man. He was by trade a carpenter. He is last mentioned in connection with the journey to Jerusalem when Jesus was 12 years old. It is possible that he died before Jesus entered his public ministry. This is concluded from the fact that only Mary was present at the marriage feast in Cana of Galilee. Also, his name does not appear in connection with the scenes of the crucifixion along with that of Mary. Now, why did God choose Joseph? Not a very attractive personality, a silent and not so attractive, talented man in the modern sense, just a humble carpenter, a man who never spoke in the Gospels. We don't find Joseph speaking, but he was full of action in the Christmas narrative. We will look at three aspects of his life that we can follow as a model. First, Joseph was a man of compliment, not complaint. Joseph was a man of compliment, not complaint. Joseph's life, as recorded in the Gospels, consists of a life that swings between joy and sadness. His life was a life of a roller coaster ride. Take for example the engagement. He was excited about his marriage with Mary as he exchanged rings. His heart was bubbling with joy of the dreams of living with a God-fearing girl, a girl of his dream. But it was a very short-lived joy. Just as he was bubbling with joy, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph and revealed the shocking message that Mary is pregnant with a child. Joseph was probably shell-shocked at the turn of these events. The one verse in the Bible that describes his pain is not sufficient to reveal the emotional torture Joseph underwent hearing the shocking news. It was joy mixed with sadness. The joy was that God has chosen him as the instrument to reveal the Messiah, the Son of God, to the world. Indeed, it was a privilege. But the sad part was that he had to be a married bachelor for at least a year. Probably his family, friends, and relatives blamed him for Mary's pregnancy, and his willingness to go ahead with the marriage with a pregnant girl only confirmed their suspicion. Then comes the wedding ceremony. On the one side, it was a merry occasion for the godly people who believed Joseph's story about the vision of the angel. For the other section of the crowd, it was a time of gossip to assassinate the character of the couple. It might have been a time of rumor spreading. It was a joyous moment because they are now united as a family to upbring the Son of God in their care. But it was a time of hardship as they had to go through a lot of suffering in the process of this. Then comes the childbirth. As expectant parents, they were filled with pride and excitement, preparing everything for the new arrival. But the decree of Caesar Augustus that everyone should go to their own place to take part in the census shattered their hopes of preparing a home for their child. The couple were compelled by the Roman power to be in travel even on the day of Mary's childbirth. But Joseph never complained about any of this to anyone. Not to Mary, not to the angels, or to God. He did his best to carry out God's purpose in his life in spite of all other options he had before him. He had the option to divorce Mary, to prosecute Mary, to abandon her, to follow the law of the land. But he prayerfully obeyed God and took care of Mary and the child. In spite of difficult, painful circumstances, Joseph reflected godliness gentleness, and maturity of love. He knew that God had a purpose in everything that came across in his life. Friends, are we known for complaining about our life? When we complain, we confess that we don't trust God's blueprint for our life. Following the example of Joseph, let us stop complaining and start trusting God in our lives. Secondly, Joseph was a righteous man. Joseph was a righteous man. The Bible certifies Joseph as a just and righteous man in Matthew chapter 1 verse 19. That was God's conduct certificate about Joseph. Righteous living has become very rare in the modern world. People look for personality, status, attitude, articulation, outward show, and verbal wisdom in approving a person. If these were the standards to approve a person, Joseph would have failed the test. He is least known for his articulation, outward show, and verbal wisdom. He is a silent character throughout the Christmas narrative. Nothing is described about his personality, status, his verbal wisdom, but the Bible certifies that he was a righteous man. God approved him because for God, inner life and character is more important than anything else. God's scale of evaluation is totally different from that of the human. Man looks at the outward experience, but the Lord looks at the heart. Take, for example, the beauty contest or talent competition. That person who is judged as the most beautiful person by worldly standards can be the ugliest person in the sight of God. It is possible. And vice versa, a person judged as useless by worldly standards can be the best instrument in the hands of God. The world judges on the basis of one's physical attributes, personality traits, intelligence, talent, and verbal competence, but God looks at the character. Righteous living in a corrupt world makes us precious in the sight of God. This festival season is an occasion for us to search our hearts and take positive steps to lead a life of righteousness at any cost. Thirdly, Joseph was a man of obedience to God. Joseph was a man of obedience to God. 4 times, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph and instructed certain things. First, the angel instructed Joseph to accept Mary as Joseph was thinking of silently divorcing her. Second, the angel instructed Joseph to take the child and the mother and to flee to Egypt to escape the evil intention of Herod. Third, after the death of Herod, the angel instructed Joseph to go to the land of Israel. And fourth, because Archelaus was ruling Judea, the angel again instructed Joseph not to go to Judea, but to go and settle in Galilee. And Joseph obeyed every time and every instruction of the angel. Not even once he argued with the angel. Obedience was not easy. Every act of obedience led to further hardship in Joseph's case. Now, if we receive instant reward for our obedience, it will be easy to obey. But imagine that you are led to further hardship for your act of obedience and still you decide to obey. That is faith. For instance, when Joseph learned that Mary is pregnant, he had 2 options before him. One, to put her under law and thus stone her to death. And second, to silently divorce her. But God gave a third option, asked him to accept her. Joseph, being a just man, took the third option by sacrificing his own personality. Imagine if we were in the place of Joseph. I'm sure we would have felt anger and frustration. But Matthew records that Joseph did as the angel of the Lord commanded him and took to him his wife. The second time the angel appeared to Joseph was to ask him to take the child to Egypt. Travel from Israel to Egypt was not an easy trip. Remember the Exodus journey? It took a lot of hardship for the Israelites to reach the promised land. It is moving from one continent to another, from Asia to Africa and then again to Asia. How much dreadful it would have been to have long journeys in those days of inadequate transport facility, journeying in a donkey. Such frequent shifts with a little child and a nursing mother would not have been pleasant. It was not a planned pleasure trip. Joseph had never planned to travel to Egypt. How did they manage the finance? Whom did they know in Egypt? Where did they find accommodation and work in Egypt? Joseph could have obviously asked, why should the angels ask us to escape to Egypt? Can't they protect us in Bethlehem? Such questions would have definitely haunted Joseph's mind. But Joseph believed that God knows the end from the beginning. God knows the end from the beginning. God is always in complete control. We may not know what the future holds, but God does. He is the one who directs the path of a righteous man. This belief made it easy for Joseph to trust God. Accepting God's will in crucial decision making moments is what we should learn from Joseph. Christmas is an opportunity to search our ways and to submit to God's will. May God help us to be a person of acceptance, not complaints, a righteous person, and a person who obeys God in all circumstances. Let this Christmas season bring such joyous experience in our lives. Amen.